Alright, so I'm going to show you guys how to remove rust. If you're restoring your engine or your car, you're probably going to find rusty parts. I have these headers off my engine and I want to remove all the rust off of them. So the best way to do that, the best and the cheapest way you can do it is by using muriatic acid right here. It's like $10 for a gallon, and then you can just soak your whole entire part in it and you can see it's just eating away at it. It's like foaming up over here. Make sure you're wearing gloves like this. You can get these days, pretty cheap, disposable. Glasses, and just cover your whole body because this stuff is really nasty. If you get some on your concrete, it'll actually dissolve your concrete. It's really strong stuff. It also puts off fumes, so either make sure you have extremely good ventilation or make sure that you're wearing some sort of respirator because this stuff will burn your nose. So basically, you're going to want to get enough to soak your whole part. You might have to flip it around a couple of times. That's what I'm doing in here. I just got a little cardboard box and then I put a trash bag liner on the inside of it. And it's about the size of this part so that I can flip it around and fully submerge it. And you're going to want to have your part submerged for about 2 hours. If it's covered in rust, that's usually enough to get all the rust off. If there's just a little bit of rust, you might want to try 1 hour or even a little bit, because after a certain amount of time this will actually dissolve the metal on your part. So if you leave it in overnight, you're going to actually start dissolving metal past the rust, and you don't really want that. You just want to dissolve what you need. But yeah, here you can kind of see this used to be completely rusty and now it's just a cast metal part. All the rust is gone. So I'm going to take this, put it in my bucket, and then take this part right here. You can see this one still has some brown on it. And we'll do a before and after so you can see what this looks like. So there we go. I'm just going to let it sit in there, set a timer for about 2 hours, and then after 2 hours take it out. If you have some other solvent, you can get the acid off of it, and then after that you can go straight to paint. And I'll show you the paint I recommend. So depending on the application, there's a couple different paints you can use for parts, like automotive parts. Pour 15 makes really good products. So these are headers, so I'm going to use this high temp matte black heat resistant paint. It's a flat black color, and their paint is extremely durable, and it's also like rust preventative, so it's going to keep the rust from coming back out after you seal the whole thing, and it's also going to bond extremely well, which is good for automotive parts. If you don't need something that's high heat, this is a really good product. The Pour 15 top coat rust preventative paint direct to metal. So with this you don't really even need a primer, and then it just goes straight on to any part. Also extremely durable. This is actually what I'm going to be doing my whole entire engine bay with. I'm doing an E30 project right now. There's the block, and here I'll show you a turbo header so you can see what that matte black looks like. This is just a single coat of that matte black. I probably should have done 2 coats, but I don't want to cake it on too thick. So this is that 2000 degree turbo manifold. Pour 15 paint. Same paint that's on my engine block. gonna be really good stuff. I highly recommend you shell out the money. That 2000 degree paint is extremely expensive, but it's worth it because I got a 2000 degree Rust-Oleum spray can, and I sprayed my whole entire engine with it, and then I got some brake cleaner on it, and I saw that it started coming off. The brake cleaner was removing the paint, and you can't really have that on an engine bay, or like on an engine, because there's going to be dirt, grime, and gas, and just all sorts of stuff on your engine block, so it has to be really good paint. So I had to strip off all of that old spray can paint, and then I put the Pour 15 2000 degree paint, and it's just a really good texture. Really hard. And it actually gets harder after it heats up. It gets harder and harder.
That's what she said.
So I'm gonna let this sit for 2 hours, and then once we come back, we can see the finished results. I'll clean them all up, and then I will paint them, and after that you guys can see the finished product. I'll put it all together with the turbo header on the side of the engine so you can see how all the black looks. It's gonna turn out great. So right now I'm just polishing up the exhaust header bolts. I got them from ECS Tuning, and they were kind of cladded. They weren't very shiny, so I just hit them up with some medium polishing compound. So you can see that the headers have a little bit of surface rust on them. That's because after I took them out of the muriatic acid, I let them sit for a little bit, and I didn't get all the acid off. So I'm just going over them with a brass wire wheel on a Dremel and cleaning all of it up. And then here I just have a sharpening stone for like knives, and I'm just going over the part where they go onto the engine block so that they bond good with the gasket. And there's the finished product. I got my intake manifold, valve cover painted, nice sanded, and then here you can see those shined up copper bolts and the black header. Hey guys, one last thing. I just want to let you guys know I have this website. It's e30turbo.weebly.com. I've been working on it, and it has all the details about my turbo build. It has where I'm going to get all my parts, how I'm doing my build, how I'm tuning it, how I'm doing the fuel management, the exhaust, and it goes into pretty good detail. I'm not done with it yet, but I just want you guys to head over there and check it out. Let me know what you think. Thank you.